Have you ever wondered why some people seem to suffer misfortune even when they try to do good, or why spiritual vows, once broken, seem to echo through your life like unpaid debts? And here's the real puzzle. Well, why would a compassionate Bodhisattva ever settle accounts with someone? Isn't that the opposite of mercy? Welcome back to the channel. This episode is one of the most mysterious and profound we've done so far, because today we're diving into a story that challenges every simplistic view of karma, compassion, and cause and effect. At the center of it all is a spiritual figure, both revered and feared in certain Buddhist traditions, the Dharma protector Vastu Bodhisattva. Known for his fierce compassion, for guarding temples and practitioners, and according to many legends, for appearing in dreams, visions, or even real-life events when karmic balances must be paid. But why? Why would a being of infinite compassion appear to demand repayment? Why does karma sometimes feel like a spiritual accounting system, precise down to the smallest vow? In this video, we're going to explore not only the legend of Vastu Bodhisattva and the karmic contracts many unknowingly break, but also how these stories are not myth, but maps for understanding how our spiritual lives operate across lifetimes, apps for how intention, action, and memory weave together into what we call destiny. And you'll meet real-life people, ordinary seekers who discovered the karmic consequences of broken promises, casual speech, and forgotten oaths. Some were shaken, others awakened. This is more than just Buddhist folklore. This is a wake-up call for anyone who believes spirituality is only about love and light and forgets that the universe remembers everything. If you've ever made a vow, even silently, if you've ever felt like something unseen is weighing down your path, if you're curious about how cause and effect unfold beyond one lifetime, this episode is for you. Let's begin. Let's begin with a true story that has been passed down by spiritual teachers for years. There was once a devoted lay practitioner named Zen. In his 20s, he encountered Buddhism during a difficult time in his life. His mother had just passed away, his business had failed, and he found himself emotionally and financially broken. Desperate for meaning and peace, he entered a temple high in the mountains, guided by a monk who rarely spoke but seemed to radiate calm. During a particular winter retreat, overwhelmed by grief and the unexpected serenity he found in chanting, Zen made a private vow. He knelt in front of a statue of Vastu Bodhisattva, tears streaming down his face, and whispered, "If I can get back on my feet, I will donate a third of my income to the temple for the rest of my life. I will serve the three jewels, protect the Dharma, and practice every precept." And indeed, his fortunes reversed. Within a year, he landed a job. Within 3, he launched a successful enterprise. His health improved, relationships returned, life began to flow. But the vow, he forgot. Not maliciously, not even consciously. Life got busy. Business expanded. The precepts faded from memory. His visits to the temple became rare. Old monk passed away. And Zen, now a man of wealth and influence, remembered only the prayers, not the promise. Until things began to go wrong again. Court case, betrayal from a friend, sudden illness with no medical explanation, dreams that felt too vivid, temple bells, silent monks, a tall warrior in red armor staring at him without speaking. And one night, in that same dreamscape, the armored figure finally spoke. "You made a vow before the heavens and the Dharma. We did not forget, did you?" Zen woke up soaked in sweat. He went back to that mountain temple's now weathered and quieter than before. New monk had taken residence, young and gentle. When Zen shared his dream, the monk simply said, "Weitu does not punish, he protects, he reminds, sometimes with a heavy hand, because some hearts have gone deaf." This story echoes for the lives of many. People ask, why would a Bodhisattva call at debts? Isn't enlightenment about compassion, like karma enforcement? The answer is more nuanced than most teachings allow. Bodhisattvas are embodiments of infinite compassion, but compassion without clarity becomes permissiveness, and in the law of karma, clarity is non-negotiable. Vows are not just poetic intentions. In the realm of spirit, vows are energetic contracts. They are heard. They are witnessed. They are recorded not in ledgers, but in the living memory of the cosmos. Weitu Bodhisattva, as one of the great Dharma protectors, is not there to punish. He is there to guard the integrity of your spiritual path, and sometimes guarding that integrity means confronting the parts of you that have forgotten your own truth. Let's now talk about vows. Not just monastic vows, everyday vows. I swear I'll never do that again. If I get through this, I'll go vegan. If you help me, God, I'll dedicate my life to serving others. We've all said things like this in moments of pain or desperation. But the universe doesn't filter your sincerity by how desperate you are. The moment you say it with your whole being, that vow imprints itself on your karmic body. Some traditions speak of this as a spiritual vow. Others refer to it as a dharma signature. Doesn't matter the name, what matters is the weight. Because when you make a vow, you shift your destiny. You activate spiritual support systems that align with that promise. And when you break that vow, not because of impossibility, but because of negligence, those same systems pause. Not out of vengeance, but out of balance. You stopped holding up your end of the sacred agreement. The forces that once rushed in to assist you, they wait. Not with malice, but with unwavering memory. Weitu is a symbol of this unwavering memory. In East Asian traditions, he's depicted as a warrior, strong, armed, not angry, but vigilant. You'll often see him standing just inside the temple gates, because he's the threshold guardian. He guards not just temples, but integrity. He reminds us that while Buddha may represent boundless compassion, the Dharma also includes consequences. And true liberation requires both. Now let's go even deeper. Let's talk about karma and accountability. There's a dangerous misconception in many spiritual circles that karma is punishment, that if something bad happens, it's because you deserve it. This is not only incorrect, it's harmful. Karma is not a reward and punishment system. Karma is cause and effect, the neutral, intelligent pattern of echo. Your thoughts, words, and actions generate vibrations. Those vibrations ripple, they return, not to punish, but to complete a cycle. Weitu, in this view, is not a spiritual debt collector. He's the messenger of completion. He appears when cycles are ready to close. He appears when your soul is mature enough to remember what it forgot. Let me share another story. This one comes from a woman named Ping, a teacher of meditation and classical Chinese texts. A young woman, she studied under a master who encouraged her to take 5 vows. He did, solemnly, proudly. But years later, after the master passed and she moved to the city, her practice became diluted. She still taught, but she no longer upheld the vows in her private life. Then strange things began to happen. You lost her voice before major talks. Her students grew agitated during peaceful classes. Dreams of angry monks, books falling off shelves without explanation. And once, in deep meditation, he heard a voice, not outside, but inside, to say, "Your students drink from your vow. What are you giving them now?" That day, he paused her teaching. You returned to retreat. You wept. You recommitted. And once he did, the blockages vanished. Her voice returned stronger. Her classes flowed again. Because karma, when honored, becomes grace. This is not to scare you. This is to awaken you. To remind you that spirituality is not just light, but structure. That vows are not cages, but compasses. That karma is not fate, but feedback. And that if you feel stuck in your practice, if you feel like life has gone quiet, if you dream of armored warriors and forgotten temples, maybe it's not a warning. Maybe it's a call to remember. Let's talk now about something crucial. What can you do when you realize you've broken a spiritual vow? First, do not panic. Second, you do not shame yourself. This is not about punishment. This is about awakening. Remember, karmic memory does not respond to guilt. It responds to sincerity. There is no spiritual benefit in punishing yourself for what you didn't understand, but there is tremendous spiritual power in acknowledging your mistake and returning to your integrity. That return begins with what many traditions call repentance, and not as religious guilt, but as honest self-inventory. Way of saying to the universe, I remember now, I forgot. What I remember, I wish to realign. When you do this, not just with words, but with heart, something opens. Cycles begin to resolve. The same karmic force that once echoed your forgetfulness begins to echo your remembrance. So how do you do this practically? Here's one powerful process you can follow. Sit quietly and recall the vow. What was it? Where did you make it? What was the emotion behind it? Acknowledge your forgetfulness. Speak it out loud. I forgot this vow. I neglected it. It did not act with mindfulness. Recommit, revise, or release. Some vows can be recommitted. Some must be revised to match your current life. Some, if made under false understanding, can be respectfully released. Trust your intuition. Take a karmic offering. This doesn't have to be material. It can be service, prayer, volunteer work, or donating to something aligned with the original vow. The point is to balance the energy with conscious action. Speak directly to the Bodhisattva or protector. Light a candle. Say thank you for reminding me. Return now to the path. This simple act, done with sincerity, can realign years of mystification. Because spiritual truth is not linear, it's timeless. Let's return to Way 2. Some people fear him, the armor, the sword, the silence. But Way 2's sword doesn't cut flesh, it cuts delusion. His gaze is not angry, it is piercing, because truth always is. and his presence in your life is never random. He appears when you are ready to move from vague spirituality to spiritual maturity, from good intentions to disciplined clarity, from theory to practice, from comfort to courage. You may be asking, but how do I know if I've made a forgotten vow? Ask your dreams, ask your body, ask your intuition. Often, forgotten vows manifest as deep spiritual restlessness. We're doing all the right things, but something feels off, locked, delayed. Sometimes, the past calls you with symbols, an old prayer, a temple in a dream, a warrior watching silently from the edge of your sleep. Sometimes, your life simply halts, projects stall, relationships end, or health dips, not as punishment, but as a call to pause and look inward. If this sounds like you, unignore it. Don't rationalize it away. Sit with it. Or no, meditate. Where have I promised something I've forgotten to honor? And trust that the answer will come, often softly, sometimes fiercely, but it will come. Let me close this video with a final story about a man named Jian, a skeptic who once mocked these ideas. He was a self-proclaimed rationalist, believed in karma as metaphor, not mechanism. Once, while visiting a monastery with friends, he saw a statue of Wei Tu and said aloud, "What kind of protector keeps a sword? Does your Dharma need security guards?" The old monk nearby looked at him and said, "The sword is not to hurt, it is to remind. Some truths must be sharp to be heard." Jian laughed it off. 3 years later, after the collapse of a business, a painful divorce, and a mysterious accident that left him bedridden, he had a dream. He stood in a courtroom, not of law, but of karma, and across from him stood Wei Tu, silent, not judging, just watching. The dream, Jian cried, "I didn't know, I didn't believe, I'm sorry." The Bodhisattva spoke just one sentence. "Now that you know, what will you do?" Jian woke up sobbing. Today, he practices quietly, not preaching, not boasting, just cleaning the monastery steps every Sunday, making tea for travelers, meditating in silence. He tells no one of his vow. But if you ask him why he keeps showing up, he says, "Because I remembered something I once promised, and someone reminded me." So now I ask you, dear viewer, what have you promised, intentionally or not? What did you whisper to the universe in your darkest hour? And are you ready now, not to be punished, but to remember? If this video resonated with you, I invite you to pause. Write in the comments vow you've kept and how it shaped you. Vow you've forgotten and wish to honor again. Karmic reminder that changed your path. This space is for stories, not perfection. And if you know someone walking through spiritual confusion, share this with them, not as dogma, but as invitation. Thank you for being here. If this message stirred something in your heart, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue exploring the deeper layers of life, spirit, and awakening. Until next time, may your path be protected, may your vows be clear, may your memory return with grace, not fear. Thank you for watching this video.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny. Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.